all the stars as you walk down Hollywood Boulevard.
It's back, it's in person, and it's better than ever. The 10th Annapolis Film Festival opens up on Thursday, March 31st, and runs through Sunday, April 3rd, with more than 70 films to make you cry, to make you laugh, to make you question, and to make you think. Over the next few days, we're going to be talking to writers, directors, and producers about the films that they're going to be bringing to Annapolis. Tickets and passes are on sale now at annapolisfilmfestival.org, so go get them. But first, have a listen to this.
And he looks up ladies' dresses as they sadly pass him by.
Well, joining us on the phone today is Jonathan Keijser, and he is the director for Peace by Chocolate, which is a movie that we all need right now, right here in this time and place in the world. Jonathan, thank you very much for giving me a call this morning, and welcome to Annapolis a little bit prematurely, but you're going to be here for the Annapolis Film Festival, which is March 31st through April 3rd, and you're bringing your film, Peace by Chocolate, which will be screened at Maryland Hall in the main theater on Sunday the 3rd at 2:30 p.m. And I will say right off the bat, anybody who's listening to this is one movie that you need to see. If you're only coming for one movie, buy your ticket for this one now and call it a day. Otherwise, buy your pass, but definitely make sure you see Peace by Chocolate. But thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing the movie, and I want to talk a little bit about it.
Awesome. Thanks, John, and what a pleasure. So, yeah.
The story is wonderful. It is about a Syrian family who has lost everything. Their factory has been bombed out. They used to have a chocolate factory that sold pretty much all over the world. They fled to Lebanon and finally got a new start in our neighbors to the north, Canada. And ultimately they end up making chocolate, and they currently still are. This is a true story. And with the Afghan refugees of last year and the Ukrainians right now, this has really sort of turned into a story of hope, I think, for anybody that's watching this.
Yeah, back in 2015, our Prime Minister-to-be, Justin Trudeau, had made a campaign promise, and it was going to be to bring 50,000 refugees from Syria by the end of the year. And the election was in October, and he won, and he had literally months to fulfill this. So, as that was the very current conflict at the time, and the Syrian war is actually still going on. Canadians were looking to see how they could help and how they could step up and do something. And a lot of people, thousands and thousands of families came together to sponsor a private family, raise money basically to host a family. And this story of the Hadhads is just one of many, many stories of hope and resilience where people came together to do something for, basically people you don't know who you're going to get. You're going to get somebody from the other side of the world that you've never met, from a different culture, and it'll be your job to basically take care of them for a year. And this is just one of those incredible stories that came from that process back in 2015.
Well, I was watching the trailer, and it was, just hysterical. They arrive in Canada, and all of a sudden they're putting the Canadian hat on them and dressing them all up like in America, put the American flag on, and it's like, okay, where have we landed? And this takes place in, I'm going to probably screw up the name, but is it Antigonish?
Antigonish. There we go. You're a natural.
Close. Nova Scotia. And you did say that our prime minister. So are you Canadian yourself?
I am, yes. Thanks for the clarification. I'm based in LA. I've been out here for a decade, but I am originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So the story is near and dear to me, and the passion of the communities that I grew up in are the same. Have the same passion that came out to support the Hadhads.
That's wonderful. Now, how long have you been in the film industry? How many films do you guys have?
This is my first narrative feature. I did a narrative feature doc previously. And this has been working about 10 years in the industry, but I'm so happy to be bringing it to Annapolis. And, this film has been around the world. We've played 30 festivals. We started at Tribeca in New York and have gone all the way to Japan and Cairo, all over Canada, and, played all across the United States. So it's really a global story. And unfortunately, with the way history has played out and what will probably happen in the future, we're going to continue to have more and more situations where we have refugees and we have displacement. And that's why a story like this is so important, because it shows a way forward. It's what we can do right? Versus then, what we can't do.
I guess my question for you is, how did you sniff out this story? I mean, there were so many refugees all over the place. And as you said, Trudeau said he was going to bring in 50,000. But how did this one come onto your radar?
Great question. Well, because I've been out, my new life in California, I still, kept checking the news all the time back in Nova Scotia to see what's going on. And there was so much energy around this push to bring these 50,000 refugees, which is now, doubled, tripled in Canada. There was just a lot of news coverage trying to see. And this story actually, funnily enough, started to be a story that was supposed to be a story of hardship. I talked to the reporter who covered the family, and they were going to do kind of like a monthly check-in for a year about a family that came to Nova Scotia, and they were looking for something of, hardship and difficulty, Canadian winters and, language difficulties. And this ended up being such a sweet story, such a lovely story. And who can't get behind chocolate, right? So it was, just covered, and I saw it, and I immediately connected with that community-focused nature of the story, and thought, you know what, this is exactly what I want to bring from my homeland, my country, to the world. And I started working with them 4 years ago now. So
I watched the trailer, and just the 2.5 minutes or whatever it was, it took me a full range of emotions. From laughter to empathy to sadness to, almost to tears in 2.5 minutes. Heartbreak of losing it all, the setbacks they fight, the struggles in the family, and along with the comedy that sort of goes with some of every family. It's essentially, it's a bunch of big city Syrians trying to assimilate in what's inarguably rural Canada.
Exactly, yeah.
And you really have, in 2.5 minutes, so I can't wait to see the whole thing, which is, 96 minutes, but took me the whole range of emotions in 2 minutes, which really hooked me into this, said that this is definitely one of the films that I do need to see. Now, you have won, as you mentioned, you've screened this at many different festivals, and you've won many different awards. I mean, I've seen it, and it's been critically acclaimed. So this is definitely one that you do want to see here. What was the Hadhad's story that was so compelling? I mean, did that just were there others that you looked at, or was their story the aha for you when you heard about it?
I think the Nova Scotia connection and chocolate as a unifier, especially back at the time when this story, when they, came to Canada in the United States, immigration was very contested. It still is, right? The idea, should we bring people in? Should we not? Should we ban certain countries? Or should we let everybody, come to our borders in the proper way? And, chocolate is just a great unifier. It's a way where we can have this conversation and realize that we have a commonality. Like, who doesn't like chocolate? I mean, unless you have an allergy or something, I think pretty much everybody likes chocolate. So for me as a storyteller, I always look to see, well, what is the universality? What is the thing that everybody can get behind and come together and share an experience and take something away? And that is what really struck me from it.
Well,
yeah.
I don't want to say this is a spoiler, but if you Google Peace by Chocolate, unfortunately, you come up second next to Peace by Chocolate, which is the name of the company that the Haddads had founded up in Canada. And it is just doing gangbusters. I mean, obviously, the story of the movie is a story of them. And what really got me is that you look at their website on the company, and they give 3 to 5% of their profits to the Peace on Earth Society. So this is a family that has gone from the lowest of lows to, I don't even want to say it's the highest of highs, but certainly the antithesis of where they were, and so compelled to give back as well, which is just, it's a great story that we all need to hear.
And something I really admire about Tareq and his family and the way they run their business is the humanitarian and social aspect to everything they do. And that is really important for any business. We can be inspired by that. But, a common refrain you hear sometimes is, don't let people into the country because they're going to take our jobs, right? They're going to take opportunity away. This family came in and they've actually created hundreds of jobs, right? For people who are in, a small town that could use more economic opportunity. So it flips the narrative, totally upside down. And if you lose everything, these these people I've met, I've spent so many years working with, are the most kind, genuine, hardworking people who want to come and do good in their new adopted country. So it's just a great sentiment.
And there is nothing wrong with that. And I'd like the subplot, if you will, I guess, about how the family works together and everything else. And that's something that I don't think that we have as tight of a family unit here in the United States as they do in other parts of the world. But I mean, as they came in here, I mean, the son Tareq was looking to be a doctor, and yet it turned around. It turned around, and it was like, well, no, this is our family business. That we make chocolate. This is what we do. And ultimately, they were able to find out that, yeah, okay, well, maybe this is the way to go, as opposed to, forging on with that medical career. It's a story of resilience. It's a story of success. It really makes you think, and you really put it very, very succinctly there that, I mean, hey, I don't want them here. They're going to take my job. And it's like, well, no, they're not. They're here to do the best that they can do, just like every single one of us is. So it's, I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful story that we do need to hear right now. I know that you are going to be screening at the Cleveland International Film Festival, and that's just before the Annapolis Film Festival. Will that be the first time it's being seen on a big screen in Cleveland, or has it been on some other ones?
Cleveland, no. We're opening night for the festival there, which is super exciting. And I love Cleveland. I played back in 2016 with my feature doc, and it's just a great audience. But I'm also super excited to come to Annapolis and see everybody turn out for this film. So hopefully everybody can come out on Sunday. You
said Cleveland is a great audience. We need to up that. What makes a great audience?
A great audience is people who come and are engaged and show up to the films and want to talk to the creators and ask good questions. And who are just really passionate about film and storytelling and sharing the communal experience. So
the film festival here in Annapolis has been 10 years, and I've never been to one before, a film festival before this. And they said, oh, we've got a shorts program. And I'm like, okay, so I can't wear my long pants. I got to wear shorts. I had no idea what it was. A film to me 11 years ago was a way to kill an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it was entertaining and everything else. But what the festival has really done for me has really gotten me to think about just different worldviews and local views and just different views and other people's and to discuss it with other people. And that's just such the beauty about a film festival, is that you get there. But with this, you get to speak with the producers, with the directors, with the actors that are involved in it, and find out, I probably can stand up there and go, hey, Jonathan, what the hell were you thinking when you did this? And get the answer, which you don't have when you go to, the whatever the main theater is, where you go and get your bucket of popcorn and leave. So, and this is just a wonderful film to close out our festival. And it probably, if I had to bet, it would be shown again on Sunday, a little bit later during Best of the Fest, just because that's sort of like the marathon replay. You want to put Sunday, April 3rd at 2:30 on your calendar when you're going to the festival there. What is up next for you? Do you have any other projects that are in the works?
I do, still under wraps, but I've got some exciting stuff coming up, and just as timely and, also entertaining and has a social core to it. And I'm very excited to continue my work in filmmaking. Awesome.
Are they documentaries, or are they features, or
they are feature narratives? Yes.
Awesome.
Continuing on.
Awesome.
The first one didn't scare me enough, so.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm not going to pressure you for any scoop that you're not ready to give up yet, but I know we'll be looking forward to whatever the future holds for Jonathan Keijser. Again, tickets, AnnapolisFilmFestival.org. If you want to go to one or two films, get a ticket. If you want to see more than 2 or 3 films, passes are definitely the way to go. There's a lot of benefits to that. You can get in earlier. You can, if you miss a movie, you don't have to worry about switching and all that kind of stuff. The Annapolis Film Festival rolls in on Thursday, March 31st, and rolls through Sunday, April 3rd. And Peace by Chocolate will be the one that you want to see on Sunday at 2:30 at Maryland Hall. And we're speaking with Jonathan Keijser, who is the director of Peace by Chocolate, a great story about a Syrian refugee family that winds up in this crazy town, Antigonish, Nova Scotia, of all places, to make a huge success for their family selling chocolate. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and I am glad that you're going to be down here. I will make sure that I hunt you down and introduce myself to you when you're here, and I hope you enjoy your stay here in Annapolis.
Thank you, John, and I can't wait to meet you all and come up for the screening.
Again, the 10th Annapolis Film Festival kicks off on Thursday, March 31st. Passes are on sale, and that is the way to go if you are seeing more than just a few movies. But they also have individual tickets as well. AnnapolisFilmFestival.org is where you want to go. It's the best 4 days in Annapolis, and you can be sure you'll see me at the movies.
Rudolph Valentino looks very much alike, and he looks up ladies' dresses as they sadly pass him by. But please don't tread on dearest Marilyn, 'cause she's not very tough. She should have been made of iron or steel, but she was only made of flesh and blood.